That's, yeah, I wonder if they're going to have some kind of COVID shot they're coming up with in the future, along with the flu shot
Yeah,
or,
the newest one's supposed to be coming out within the last 2 weeks of August, which should be right around now,
Oh,
oh,
is the newest one.
okay.
So I'm gonna call and see this weekend if they've got it in, and if so, I'm gonna get it.
Yep. So will I. I keep track of on my online there. I can look at my what I need to get, and I yeah. Sometimes I make a phone call and said, "Okay, come on in. We're ready for you."
Steve, how are you? Can't hear you. Are you muted? I can't hear you. Hmm.
are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
not that I want to.
Uh,
Well, we are recording now, and I am going to start sharing my screen because I'm going to start the class. Uh, Anyone have any problems or questions before we get started?
Yeah, I got one. I've been having a problem lately with my computer, my laptop. When I turn it on, it just sits there. And I don't know whether it's the battery going or what. Um, but it just sits there and does nothing. And then I have to hold the button down to turn it back off. And then I wait a couple of minutes and turn it back on. And then it's the little thing starts swirling around down at the bottom. So I know it's going to work. And then it comes on.
Have you turned it off all the way?
Yeah, oh yeah, I turn it off every night
Oh,
before
okay.
yeah, when I'm not using it, I keep it turned off.
Yeah, yeah.
It turns
Sometimes,
itself off, yeah.
oh my, sometimes my computer's a little slow, but sometimes it's act normal there, so it might need a little bit of TLC. Maybe one of these days on the Marian's class, I can go down to the Sylvan Library.
Now that's your Microsoft laptop or
Yeah, it's an Envy laptop. It's that M7 notebook, as it says on this
hmm.
tag here, that's wearing out.
What about you, Carol? Which one are you referring to?
Um, the Microsoft one,
Oh,
like the
okay.
one that you have.
Yeah.
And it's about, I don't know, 5 years old.
Hmm.
I think I bought it in 2020.
Hmm. Oh, by the way, Larry, how your neighbor's dog and you all palsy wowsies?
Oh, yeah, he's so loving. I don't have him here right now, but he will be here later
Ah,
because his mom is a nurse and she's working two 12-hour shifts yesterday
oh,
and today. So
oh
she won't
dear.
be home till 8 o'clock and he gets so lonely. Plus his uh, one of his companions, her daughter just went back to college, and so he's back by himself again right now. But I bring him over, and he enjoys it here till she gets back home. Yes, Pat.
well, I had a comment to make before we start. I received an interesting email this morning from Wave Cable, Astound. We were without internet for about everything for about 4 hours. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but for the first time ever, they're giving everybody a refund without, there were so many complaints. And I don't know how much the refund will be, but it was done by vandalisms.
Ah,
Hmm.
And apparently vandals are at work in the area and did enough damage. It took them 4 hours. So and they were inundated with calls. Mine was one of them, wondering what was going on. But I'll see how they value me, how much of a refund they give me. But that's unheard of. it can be out at different times and they will never give us a
I
refund.
belong to
So,
this thing called Nextdoor, which is a community thing. And
right,
people in the community put things on it, and I've noticed a lot of them having problems with the sound,
right.
losing it for
So
multiple times. And
it's vandalism out here somewhere. And
yeah,
they're
well,
doing a lot.
everybody, they want to steal those copper wires and everything else. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Time
hmm,
for cameras.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got my cameras, so okay, I'm going to take over the screen and start into the class today. And let me get things moved around here. So, let me, my normal class starting, you being recorded, so be nice and, you know, don't swear at me and stuff like that. Um, if you have an email to send it to ladli5678@live.com. I have 5 different email accounts, so this is the one I use mainly for communication on these type of things. If you want a copy of the PDF, send me an email. And I want to give a special thanks again to Mary Ann because she can teach so much differently than I do because I can't quite get down to her level of slowness and stuff. But wonderful people. She's wonderful. She helps people learn computers. Um, keep me in touch with your information, Carol. Where'd you go? Oh, she blurred herself out. So let me know more about what's happening and I'll look into that. So again, these are shortcuts to everything that I talk about, and you can go to them. You can get information. You can get uh, all kinds of things that can help you for different things. Now, eight months ago, the last time I talked about this was how to use Word and Excel. And so I'm going to be talking about that today and showing you the different things about Word and Excel that I hope are informative. And the first thing I want to talk about is Windows Update. So the way I go is I go down here and I type about, ABOUT, and it says about this PC, and I click on it. Now, again, I want to remind you there's probably 3 or 4 different ways of doing this and getting to it. I'm just trying to use the same one so people get used to it. It tells me the specifications on my particular computer, and I named it LAD Pro 8 because this is a Microsoft Pro computer and it's version 8, 64-bit umpty-ump. But down here, I use Windows 11 Pro, which really is not much different than regular Windows 11, except there's a couple items that I really enjoy. And one of them is zipping and keeping my data protected by files on board. So if somebody was to get into my computer, they can't see my files. That's a free thing with Pro, but I'm not sure it's worth it for everyone. The latest version is 23H2. It was installed on 7.5.24. That's the main version. And yesterday I got some updates to the build, and the latest build I have is 22.6.31.40.37, which is just a bunch of numbers. But it's important to stay up to date, to know the information in case you need it, and maybe even print it out in case you have a problem with your computer. So if I scroll down this page, Notice I got the BitLocker here. The BitLocker is something that comes with Windows 11 Pro, so it keeps all my data secure on, and if you can't log into the computer, you can't get to the data. The other thing that is important is Windows Update. And if I go here and I click on, I'm already on System, I'm going to click System and go down to the bottom and click Windows Update. And actually, it was already back here. When I was here, you can notice it just to the left here, Windows Update. So just a minute, I'm getting warm, so I'm going to turn my fan on. And yesterday was Microsoft Update Day, Ed. I don't know if you got any, but the second Tuesday is normally Microsoft Update Day. I got a few, and it is important to try to stay up to date because they are putting Band-Aids on bad things, and you need those Band-Aids in most cases. Seldom do people have problems when they do an update that causes a basic computer problem, but it does happen off and on. So I was going to look at my update history here. Excuse me, I got a yawn. Yesterday, there was a cumulative update for Framework, and there was a cumulative update for Windows 11. There was no driver updates for yesterday, but that is something that they do. Microsoft definitions, this is updated 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. Like here was one from yesterday. No, here, one from today. I had 2 from yesterday. And anyway, I use the Microsoft antivirus program, and it updates, and I check for it regularly. And so it's nice to know that they're all updated. Here's other things that they update, which is configuration information, so on. But when I go to Windows Update, it says check for updates. I click check for updates. And most of the time, it will give me an update to my antivirus program, which is Windows Defender. So it's checking now. And I did check it earlier, so hopefully it won't find anything, but I want to keep up to date as much as I can, so I check it on a regular basis.
Larry,
Yes.
you have over to the right there on pause updates. Pause for 1 week. Do you wait 1 week or?
Nope. I do it immediately, every day when they come out.
Right. Okay. So if you would want that, that's where you'd click.
Yeah, you could click. Actually, you can do 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can do it for a multiple period of time. But I've not ever had a problem with a Windows update causing problems on my computer. But I do have a Microsoft computer, so that may make a little bit of a difference. So anyway, this is the settings, and I have a shortcut to the settings on my desktop down here, which is this gear down here on my desktop. And if I click it, I go basically to the same place. I can check updates. You can see I'm tied to the internet here. And this is the name of my computer. I have cloud storage and stuff like that. But this is a whole list of everything in settings that may or may not be interested to you, but it does do a lot of things to help and check your computer. So Windows Update and About, I mentioned those two. Now I'm going to talk a little bit, well, a lot today about Microsoft Office. I do pay for the more expensive Office, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But if you go here to a shortcut I have Word. I'm going to talk about Word tables, Excel, and email dictation and word dictation. Let me get this back where everybody can see it. Okay, so this is the Microsoft Windows main site, and you go there for get different types of information about Windows, so on and so forth, and Windows 11 or Windows 10, everything's here. Carol, do you still have Windows 10? Oh, she's muted. Okay. Anybody else have Windows 10 yet? Okay.
I do.
Oh, okay. It's getting closer and closer to the time to start thinking about 11. But then
Yes,
again, you need to make sure your computer can handle it.
mine can't.
I won't.
Okay. Well, if it comes time when you want, let me know and I'll send you information on the best Windows 11 computers to get.
Okay.
But most of the things I'm talking about apply to Windows 10 also. But this is Microsoft main thing. They're talking about business owners and Microsoft Office 365, which I do have, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. But that's just a shortcut to that. And
Oh, a quick question though, Larry.
yeah,
If I looked at was it October 25 for no support for Windows 10, but if eventually I guess I'll go with a Windows 11 unless they got a Windows 12. But uh, on the Office program, the 365, is that going to be the main one, or can we buy? Will be able to buy just a CD or any improvements on the because what I have, I use the CD on this one for my office and student there, but I just wanted to have a more office programs for, like 365, or they got something different now.
okay. Well, I might be able to help you for free, Ed,
Oh,
and I'll talk about that coming up here. But how to get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and this is a CNET, and they're talking about Microsoft Office 365. You get all these different things in it, and there is a membership, and I'm going to talk about that. Education free if you're a student or a teacher. How to get Office 365 for free if you're not a student or faculty member, but really it's very hard to get it for free. But I just wanted to show you this web page because I'm going to talk more about it here in a second. This is comparing plans of Office 365. Now, I have the Microsoft Family Plan. With that plan, you can share the whole thing with 6 other people,
oh,
okay, for free. You give them the information and they can use it as long as you're paid for it. And it's a once a year payment of $100. And I share it now with 2 other people. If you're interested, Ed, I will share it with you and you can give me your opinion on it.
okay.
And I've got a couple others if you're interested, I might be able to share with. But I do own this. You can have family or whatever, you can get them to join. So if you think about it, $100 a year with 6 different people you share it with, that's not too bad. You can get it, the personal one, for $70 a year for one person, which I would much rather share than just one person. But this is where you can get it, and it includes all kinds of things. And I'm going to talk more about those in a minute also. And here's different ways to learn how to use Microsoft Office in general, not just the 365. So here's a John Academy, best way to learn Microsoft Office for free. Find the latest Microsoft Office courses, so on and so forth. But there's a website that talks about various places you can go to learn, and there's more coming up. So this is just the beginning. Microsoft Help and Support. This is Computer Hope is another website, and they have what is Microsoft Word, tips on how to use it, questions and answers, so on and so forth. But this is all about Microsoft Word. And again, I have this shortcut, so all you got to do is click on it. I'm going through them very fast because I want to go through other things. Here's Google Microsoft Word training for beginners. And here's some videos, so on and so forth. And quite a bit of that is free. Free Microsoft Excel training for beginners at Google also. Those are the two of the three things I use the most in that, because they've got so many different things that make it easier to use. And I will be talking about those. But here's Excel for beginners, free Microsoft Excel classes, tutorials. I mean, a whole list of things that are free for anybody that wants to take them. So you don't have to start off as a beginner. And I've got some more here I'm going to cover, but I want to go back to Marianne. She recommends this GCF Global, and they have other 200 free tutorials on there, and I'm going to click there. And you see they have tutorials for everything, but they have it for Office 2010, Office 7. Then they have individual ones for Word, Excel, for all the various types. So you can go through and go through one at a time, and it teaches you step by step how to use them. And Marianne, that's one of Marianne's favorite places to go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sort of exit from this and show you exact examples of how to use Word and Excel. And like I say, I do have 365, but what's nice about if you get the $100 a year version is you can share it for free with 6 other people. And if you got a family or friends or whatever, you can just share it for free. I do share it with 2 other people, my nephew, but I've got some others I can share with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. Oh, this is my cameras out front, my front yard and everything. So right here, I have a file, and I have various things. I have covered some of it in the past, but test Word documentation. This is a Word document. I'm going to open this up. Test Word documentation, dictation. So I like the fact that I can talk, and I just did that the other day, but I'm going to do some more. If you notice right here at the top of this Word document, there's a thing that says dictate. So I am going to do some dictation just by talking. And it will write it here. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's probably 98% good. So I'm going to click dictate. This is a test of Microsoft Office dictation. Period. New line. I am teaching a Kitsap Computing Seniors Word documentation class. Period. New line. Some members of the class are Pat, Carol, Ed. Oh, I got an Eric instead of Ed. It records everything you say. And I'm going to hold it here for a second. But you can talk, and this applies to email also. You can open an email and talk on your email, and it will write in your email for you, and you can send it. But you notice right up here, there's a thing called dictate right on my Word. And again, I'm not sure what regular ones like Office 2023 or 4 has different than the Office 365. So some of them might or might not have that. You'd have to tell me. But I got dictate, I got an editor, and it checks editor score 83, spelling problems. Oh no, I got 2 its. Okay, let's get rid of an it. Maybe.
You need a proof,
Do it.
need a proofreader.
Oh, delete repeated word. And here's another one that says second. Edit records, and it just ends there. There's no period. But there's different things here. It will check for clarity, conciseness, format, inclusiveness, punctuations, so on and so forth. It will do a lot for you. So that's the editor part. Now what I want to do is click here, and if I right click, it has something called read aloud. One of my choices is read aloud. Here we go.
This is a test of the Microsoft Word Dictator. I am testing this for the Kitsap Computing Seniors Computer class. This is a test of Microsoft Office dictation. I am teaching a Kitsap Computing Seniors Word documentation class. Some members of the class are Pat, Carol, Eric. Oh, I got an error. Instead of edit, records everything you say, and I'm gonna hold it here for a second. Testing the speaking program. 21.
Okay, so it will take the whole document, no matter what it is, and it will read it to you. And that's great. You could get a long email and it have it read to you. You could be half asleep with your glasses off, and I just find it interesting. So I'm going to restart it here at this point and see what it says here.
Testing the speaking program. 21. 6,666. 54. 66. 99.
Okay, well, this is something else I'm showing you on here. And this has to do with tables, because I'm going to be talking about tables. I use tables continuously and a lot. And I have different things here. For example, one of the things I wanted to show you is, I got a bunch of different lines here. I can get rid of some that I don't want. Delete rows. Or I can go over here to layout, and I can add rows just by clicking the button. Insert below. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit of typing. 1, 2, or 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And right here, I'm going to stop and note there is a blank line here. I'm going to click formula, and it says sum above, but that's not where I want to click it. I want to click it down here. Formula, sum above. Okay, there, those add up to 70. So it automatically added things up for me. Let's go over here. I'll do 6666, 7777, 8888, 9999. And let's do formula. Just click it. Above, 94,000. So it adds for you. It will do various things. Now, watch. I'm going to do a 7.7. No, I'm going to do it in the next line up. I don't want to get too big. 5.5, 7.7, although it's 6.6, 7.7. And I'm going to click here, and I don't have another space over here, so I'm going to insert to the right another column. Boom, there it is. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to click that formula again. Sum left. It knows where I want it to sum, basically. Okay? So that's 1,212. So it can do all your arithmetic for you. It's a neat little thing. It's called formula, and it's on this layout part. And if you, I'm going to show you things that I use it for quite often, but it'll be in a little bit. If you got problems or questions, stop me.
Okay.
Ask the question.
Is this Word or Excel, Larry?
This is Word.
Sure looks like Excel. Thank you.
I know. I do a lot of things in Word that look like Excel. I love tables. I'm a table person. And I will be talking about that more. So here is just other tables that I built. I like putting edges around them. And I'm going to show you how to build tables and stuff like that. You can color items. You can do all kinds of things. So I just wanted to start with that one. There's more coming up. Save. I can send any of these to you, by the way, so you can play with them. Now, this is one that I want to show you in Excel. Now, this is the one I use for doing the finances in Kitsap Computing Seniors. And this is an older version, but this is way back in 2023. You'll see this layout of this table. It's got columns of dues, donations down here, what we pay for, insurance, so on. I got some figures in here. And this is first quarter, second quarter, July, August, September, third quarter, so on and so forth. But what you don't see, which is amazing, is the formulas that are behind each one of these. So don't get scared. I'm going to click Show Formulas. Okay. These are the formulas behind these columns that do adding per quarter, per so on. It sums the columns down here. And it does all this using these formulas behind the scenes. I originally did not make this, but I do maintain it. It was made by Lawrence. I'm trying to think of his first name.
Don.
Don Lawrence, yes. And he passed away, unfortunately, but he made this originally, but I have maintained it. And when you look at it, boy, this is overwhelming. I mean, there's so much stuff here, but it does a wonderful job when I get rid of show formulas. If I put things in here, let's add 999. Better make this wider. Notice it just changed the number down here automatically. I'm going to add 66, click away, boom, and the number changes. So it does all the addition and everything for you. But this is Excel, but I do a lot of my stuff in Word and I like it. I use Excel for some things, but not all things. You can have as many columns here. You can play with it. You can do things. You can do sums, everything. But this is a complicated one. If you're going to use it, you just can't spend one day making it. It takes a little bit of time. But I'll send this to you and you can look at it and play with it. and see some of the things that you can do with it. I'm going to click don't save that. And again, this is Excel, and basically it does all these different, you can add things, you can do things. I was just starting here to play around with something. You can name the column something, but I'm just going to add some numbers. Oops. And it says auto sum. So I'm going to click here to auto sum, and it puts a formula J1 through 6 automatically. So it's going to sum what's above it. I'll click enter, and there's your answer. It'll put the formula in automatically for you. And there's various ways to use this, but let me do it this way. Click the formula again. So now it's got a formula of J4 through 04, or 04, which is up here. So I'm going to click enter, and it just summed all these. Now, here's something you got to be careful of. I'm going to get rid of the 7,7. I'm going to blank it out. Now I'm going to click auto sum. And now it's only going to sum N4 through 04 because it knows this is blank. It's not going to go there. So if I hit enter, that's 187. I put a 0 here just for the heck of it. And I say auto sum. It's going to go back to J. And it's going to do the whole thing because I put a 0 here saying, hey, I want you to count this column even though it's empty. So again, Excel is a little harder, and I use it for certain things, but I don't spend a lot of time programming in it other than updating the programs I have. Don't save. So here we go with another thing. Well, I'm going to jump down to tables here. And these are my tables that I keep up on a daily basis. Now, this is an older version, and I got rid of some of the stuff that I don't want you to see, but I have tables that I update on a regular daily basis mostly. And this is a table, this is Word, this is a table. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So here's bills that I spend with my city card. Tells you, if I buy my Sirius radio for my car, Amazon, so on. I put the amount in here and I can sum it up or whatever. My Navy savings, my Navy checking, my Kitsap savings, my Kitsap checking, and I also have a Kitsap Visa. Whatever I use those, I fill it in here. When I spend cash, I put the cash in here. 5, we eat out, 99. Lotto, 10. I buy lotto tickets every once in a while. If I spend cash for meds, I fill it in. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to put change. I just want to keep track of basically what I do and what to expect from my credit card and my banking. And down here, I have right below it appointments. And at some point, there was a February 7th appointment at 1 p.m. for Sarah Medical. Here's a Wednesday at on the 8th of February, because you notice February up here, 10 a.m. for Larry Medical. But I fill this in as I get appointments or somebody makes an appointment in the future. I come down and I fill it in because I have February, March, April, May, and I just cut and paste. For example, if I want to take this one, I'll highlight it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy. Let's say that changed to another month. I'll go down here to this one, April, right click, and it shows you different ways to paste. But that's the way I want right there. I don't want it all in one column. So I just moved that. So I made a doctor's appointment. I did it when I was at the doctor. He gave me a new appointment. I just moved it down to when it is. So I can look at my table here and say, oh, next month I do this. Notice at the beginning of every month, I do a computer backup and test my email because I have 8 different email programs and I don't use them all regularly, but once a month I would go through and send myself a test email. For example, right here, you can go down here and you can see I ran a test in May, June, July, August. And here's some mail I just got in that I get on a regular daily basis. This is for ladlad@comcast.net. And I also be careful of junk. Here, I got a digital statement. Important note, click here. Well, I know better than I'm going to click because one thing, look at who the heck it's coming from. I mean, smtp62 at part.com. That's the same way with my phone. On my telephone, I do not answer if I don't know who is calling me. And I do have a program called Nomo Robo, which on my landline is free. And if they've got a whole list of calls that people make all the time, and it will ring one time and stop, boom. But they're not perfect. They still have things to add. So sometimes I'll get a call or ring 4 times. But if I don't recognize the number, I don't know who it is, I don't answer. If they don't leave a message, forget it. Here's another, wow, here's a bog, I don't know, bittel.net. Anyway, you can see it's really weird, but my junk file, I make sure I send stuff to my junk file. Here's another email I have, which is ladlad2017@outlook.com. I made a lot of these years ago because I was teaching classes and how to make these different ones. So I made a bunch and I keep them. And here's lad li5678, which I send, that's where you send your information if you want feedback from classes. Here's stuff Marianne sent that I put in the newsletter. Here's stuff my open forum classes. Here's another one, ladgm5678 at Gmail, ladlad2011 at Hotmail, dal at comcast.net, and ladYH5678 at Yahoo. And then I've got one, ladssg75mail at gmail.com, and that's where I get all my bills sent. So if I pay my bills automatically through my credit union, and if I get a thing that tells me what the bill is going to be coming up, I change it, put it on my credit union, and boom, they send it out and pay it for me. So those are my 8 different ones. And this is program I'm using is Outlook, but it's Outlook for 365. So it's got a few other things that the regular Outlook that comes with an Office doesn't have, but this is Outlook 365. And there's a lot of things you can do with it. But I just wanted to show you that it's easy if you do it once a day. You make a little note or you got your card. You come up here and you fill this in. Tells you what you're doing. Appointments I've completed in 22, 23. I saved some of those. Now here's phone numbers and names for doctor, the purpose, the phone, name of the office, address. So if I have all the different medical things, I can write the doctors in here and I can look down and see if I need to call them or email them or whatever. Weekly retirement finances. Sarah and I both have an IRA and we have a rollover account at the 2 places. So instead of taking our IRA and sending it to us, they just roll it over into another account and it still gets finances. So there's a Larry total, IRA, and rollover, Sarah total, IRA, and rollover. and I look at that once a week every Friday when the stock market closes and stuff like that. I'll go check it out. Here is some investments that Sarah and I have: Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, and Walgreens. And I just keep track because they send us things to the bank automatically that says how much they're sending us. So 4 times a year, Comcast will send us some amount, AT&T, so on. Here's end of month finances. At the end of every month, I click how much interest I got in the different savings accounts, how much my Social Security was, how much my Navy, VA, and so on, and our rollover. So I do that at the end of the month. Here's bill pay. When I get those things in, I put them down here and I set my bank up to automatically pay these bills for me. And I'll show you that here, bro. Am I going too fast? You got any questions? Okay, well, I'll continue on. I can send this to you, by the way, if you want to. You can take my stuff out and put your stuff in if you're interested. I'll send you this outline because I got rid of most of the important stuff. So for example, here, I'm going to go over here, and here's my Kitsap Credit Union. And I got it set up where I can log in, but I already did it. There's a 2-step verification, but I did it earlier today, so it will stay that way until I log out tonight. I've got some money in certificates that I got saved, but over here is bill pay. And not just credit unions, but banks do this too. So here, I pay my natural gas. The next one is going to be $106 on September 5th. Citibank, I move over at various times because I pay off the city card. City of Bremerton, that's the water. Comcast, Puget Sound Energy, Waste Department. So I set those up, and I don't give them what they're looking for. Sometimes I give them more so that I get a positive at the very end. But you don't have to. You can go here and change them and send exactly what they want. And here's a list of what I've sent last month, August 5th. So it's just handy to be able to do that. And I have another shortcut for my Kitsap Credit Union and the city card. So anyway, I fill this in just because I like to keep the information up to date, how much I'm going to pay them. And I can go, like I said, and change that. But I save a few items from the bill that I get. And most of my bills are sent to me by email. So I can just open the email, put in CFF terms, the change, and how much I owe and how much I'm using for electricity. I'm a weirdo like that. I do things. Here's my car. Every time I put gas in or get stuff done on my car, I put the date, I put the mileage, the cost, the gallons, and I put the cost per gallon and the miles I went since the last time I did it. So I got 2 cars, and here's the information of keep them up to date. And maybe every 6 months I'll go and add it up and see what my gas mileage is doing, so on and so forth. Quicken. I use the Quicken program because I keep all my stuff there. I do pay for it. It's I don't know. I'll open it real quick. And so this is Quicken Deluxe. And with the table here, I can go over here to Quicken and I can open it up and see exactly what I do. And I put all the information in of how I spend things. So at the end of the year, I can have it all there, ready for my taxes and everything. So when I update Quicken, I put the amount and the date here. Over here, I got Amazon purchases. I use Amazon because my nephew Jason is a Prime member. And if you're a Prime member, you can put 3 or 4 other family members on for free. So he pays it once a year. And then I give him money during his birthday, besides his birthday money, to cover uh, me. And so, like I say, it's much cheaper. I think Prime, I'm going to guess 150 off the top of my head. But if you can have 4 different members of your family go on with you, that makes it nice. Here's a remember thing. The older you get, the more you want to remember and the more you forget. So you can start putting items in here. Here's my AARP house and auto insurance. I'm a member of AARP Hartford, which I joined way back when I turned 60, I think. No, I'm only 28. I'm sorry. But anyway, I joined it years ago. And so I put every year my property tax, my auto insurance, so on. I make a new form for the beginning one I showed you up there for each month. So that one up there was February. This one's set up for March, but this is a year ago. And here's my automatic payments from my bank, so on and so forth. And I have a general one here that I use. Here's my calendar. And I copy the old months and I put them down here and save them. But anyway, if you want, I can send this to you. Just ask for it and you can make it out your way and do what you want with it. But you can cut and paste and change the names or whatever. Maybe people aren't as weird as I am in doing things like that, but I enjoy it. Any questions on that? Okay. Not going to save that. Now, if you want, I will also send you this. I made a whole group of things of blank tables. There's different sizes. Here's one with 100 rows and 50 columns. Here's one with 50. Here's one with 25. Here's one with 20, 10. And all you got to do is cut them and paste them. And you can make your own tables however you want to. Now, something I did write up here is autofit. Now, autofit is important to me, and you have to understand what it is. So when I click on this table here, you'll notice a little X shows up when my mouse is on it. I'm going to click that X, and you got different things up here. But I put it on here again, and I right-click. I have a whole list of items here. But the one I go to is called autofit. And it says auto fit contents, which means if I don't have anything written there, it's going to be this big. If I start writing something in the table, it just automatically goes to the size of the writing without taking up too much space. So that's called auto fit. And you can right click on the table and any table you make and go down and click auto fit. Now another one is auto fit to window, which I don't want. Fixed column width, I don't use that, but it's nice to be able to. So if I change something, boom, the column gets smaller. So it auto fits to whatever you have in each column, which is handy. And that's the way I would do all these tables. And again, tell me what you want if you want it, and I'll send it to you. I'm going to close this, don't save. Now I'm going to go back here. Now this is one I was making to play with for fun. You can add all kinds of things to Word. I added a picture here that I had, and you see this cat going crazy. But every week I send out something called Catterday to people that are interested. I got about 40 people on the list. And just to show you, Let's see. Where are you, Saturday? Maybe it's still up here. Ah, it's down here, that's why. Here's Larry Catterday. So if you're on my list, I get these things and I send them to the people that are interested. Catterday, yes, it's Catterday. Wonderful. My dad has just figured out how to use his front camera. This is the first picture he sent. Dog. He lied on his resume, but got the job anyway. There's your security dog. What size shoe do you wear? Fear. I've never been more afraid of a dog in my whole life. We have this. So they're going out together as a group. Just a little kiss. Be careful with your baby. This is my baby here, and he wants to make sure everybody's careful with it. No alarm, go for it. So they're in the refrigerator, stealing at night. Smile. I got this. So here's the cat protecting you. Drive carefully. The dog's driving and the officer is sleeping. And this one is Snuggles. And this one is Mommy and Daddy Cat kissing with all the babies. So anyway, I send something like that out every Saturday to this list I have of people that are interested. Ed gets it. Carol and Pat get it. But I just enjoy grabbing these things, and I start at the beginning of the week. And so up here, I've already got a Catterday folder started. And this particular one I was showing you actually has 3 pictures. Well, no. Here's some other ones that, so this week we're going to get some of these. Anyway, I thought this was good. 2 guys talking. My wife has a muzzle and so does a dog. That's the way it should be. Anyway, I start saving these and I'm also into submarines, so I got all kinds of submarine pictures that I've been saving. But anyway, that's Catterday and I enjoy it. And if you're interested, you could say, put me on your Catterday list and I will add you to the list and send it out. It's something from my Major Geeks program, which is one of my favorite websites, majorgeeks.com. And